Jo Brand, you've just finished your performance here at the Red Funnel Isle of Wight Literary Festival. What an amazing reaction from the audience here on the island.
Yeah, they were absolutely lovely. And I think it's always interesting to come to places like this, which a lot of people would assume are kind of outposts of the empire, as it were, where people may be kind of slightly out of touch. But I think assuming that is totally wrong, because I think they were a lovely, really kind of on the ball audience who asked some brilliant questions and said some really lovely things, and it was just such a pleasure.
And your book, Born Lippy, is a kind of survival guide for women in the modern world, including a bunch of sort of bits of very sensible life advice. What are the bits that you'd want to focus on now, if you could distill them into a minute or so?
I think you're dignifying it with an essence it simply doesn't possess. But it's I just wanted to put some things down that have happened to me and say to her, look, I went through this, and if you possibly can avoid that, do that. So I think safety, particularly for young women, is very important. So just being aware of doing sensible things, like having a rape alarm maybe, or not walking home on your own when you're really drunk, or when you go out with a group of friends, don't lose one of them and think, oh, where's she gone? We haven't seen her for hours. Just that sort of thing, which I know is kind of hard to do when you're having fun and having a night out. So that's very important. I think not to take life too seriously, be supportive to your friends, and, maintain friendships with as much strength as you can, because they're so important. And be nice.
Now be nice is something we didn't really explore in the chat in front of the audience, but that's a surprisingly old-fashioned thing for somebody to have to say. I guess in the modern world, though, it really needs saying.
Well, I think, we are sort of moving into a culture where people value spitefulness, I think, in terms of other people's appearances and their behaviour. And I think it's almost kind of a challenge to people to be sort of more unpleasant, really. And I personally am not a great believer in that way forward. I think if you've got something to criticise someone about, fine, like whether it's someone's politics, but in terms of just being spiteful about people for the sake of it, like bullying, I feel that we should be steering people in the other direction.
And we looked at some of the online reviews on the Mumsnet website for this book, and one of the comments that an anonymous commentator had put down touched you particularly. She simply said, "What a lovely woman, I wish she was my mate."
Yeah, which is, I think, is kind of the highest accolade in a way, because I think it means people think that you're kind of natural and normal, and that they could have a laugh with you, and that's how I hope I come across to people.
The book is called Born Lippy. Jo Brand, thank you for being here in Cowes.
Thank you, and you are a delight.